to you back, you wanna throw the back, go to you. Throw 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 to you back, you wanna throw to the truth to you back, you wanna throw to the truth to you back, you wanna throw to the truth to you back, you wanna throw throw
The fire rises.
Check this out.
Okay.
I look good.
Okay.
Let's talking on the net. Get in the building, do something.
Get the money, gotta get my bag on.
Okay.
Triple back, flip out the whole scene.
Okay.
All you suckers just to run that be me. So, get smacked. You looking back. I got those big stacks. I'm pushing stacks. New outfit. You wish you had it on. Only tricks on the wrist, gotta keep it on.
Okay.
What you got? I got it going on.
Okay.
What you got? I got it going on.
Okay.
What you got? I got it going on.
Okay.
What you got? I got it.
Okay.
Well, we got ourselves a very interesting show. But before I get into the Sydney Watson angle, we are going to go into all the things that Elijah Schaffer's done since the last time we talked about him and the Sarah Stock incident. Now, Sarah Stock has done the right thing and fucked off for good. Hopefully, she is gone. It's time. It is time. But I want to just say this. I almost want to talk about this as well. Shout out to Tubi saving my childhood. My childhood is saved. I almost want to switch topics to that, but I might say that for tonight. We're gonna talk the Tubi thing and all the cartoons coming back. But the list is ridiculous. Animaniacs, Ben 10, classic Ben 10, not just Ben 10. Because I don't subscribe to the newer Ben 10s. I mean, everyone likes it. I am always OG Ben 10 first. The best. Best theme song, best show, best animation, just a shit. Codename Kids Next Door, peak. Courage the Cowardly Dog, goes without saying, peak. Foster Home for Imaginary Friends, goes without saying, peak. Powerpuff Girls 1998 edition, yes sir. Teen Titans 03, The Batman Brave and the Bold, Justice League, The Ed Boys, and Dexter's Motherfucking Laboratory, rounding it out. That is how you get a motherfucker on your streaming service. I'm in. Don't care. I'm in. Don't give a fuck. I'm in. You got me. You have intrigued me beyond a level that I can ignore. I am in. I just wish only for one thing. Tubi needs to pick up one more show, Billy and Mandy. When they pick up like Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, they will be the best streaming service for this move. This is baller shit. We will never forget what you've done for us, Tubi, for real. This is actually amazing shit. Even if they don't even get Billy and Mandy, that's just a personal preference for me that I want. This is still the best thing any streaming service has ever done. This is phenomenal. And big fucking double birds to fucking HBO and Warner Brothers. Y'all suck. Suck major monkey dick. Fuck you. But anyways, let's get on to the Elijah Schaefer shit. Done with my childhood and my cartoon needs and all that shit. Let's talk about Elijah Schaefer, as if anyone wants to talk about Elijah Schaefer. Let's see. Whew. Sorry, I'm looking for the actual post. Okay, well, I can't find it. That's just awesome. There it is. So Elijah Schaefer texted one of the relatives of his wife, and he said this: "Watch your back. Be afraid. You need God. Repent." Ironic. You are a bad person. God will make you pay for your sins. I wash my hands of you, sinner. I am no threat to you. I would never harm you. But lots of people in the press are asking me about you. You are not clean. You have a nasty past. Gross. I love you. I hope you recover. What the fuck am I reading? Be careful in your response. His response: you cheated on your wife and abused her. What does that have to do with me? Perfect response, because it's the truth. What does that have to do with me? You're the one that fucked up. Time's up, buddy. Elijah Schaefer is just spiraling, and I think that's great. I think that's just fucking great. Thanks. Good on Milo just destroying this whole cabal of shit. Not as easy to, not because he did the right thing. No, Milo just did it for the clout, and it's absolutely like a genius. It's hilarious. I don't care. This is too fucking funny. This is a Milo dub, regardless. In the terms of what Milo is, it's a Milo dub. But yeah, that's just the news on Elijah Schaefer. Basically, all I got to say on that. Now we're going to get on to one of Elijah Schaefer's many victims, Sydney Watson, who was shamed by a lot of people as lying, talking, being a fucking troublemaker, and cast out from the Blaze and blacklisted to the point where she was so low, so fucking in the dumps, downtrodden, and just in a desperate situation to regain her spot and relevancy. She worked with the fucking quartering. And by the way, how's that going for the quartering right now? How's things going for the quartering right now, bud? Not good. Not good. Last I checked. The porn issue, the porn issue. I mean, I have to pause on that for a minute because that's just really fucking funny. The porn issue, the Rumble issue where he exposed everything, and now he's going to spiral into the Keno Casino, just going to come in with the shovel to finish it off and just bury him. It's not looking good for your boy Jeremy Hambley. But anyways, she had to work with that fucking putz, and that did not end well for anyone. Really, it did not end well for Jeremy, because, well, Jeremy is, as you know, a giant putz and a giant imbecilic moron. Excuse me, let me clean something real quick as I'm talking. But yeah, it's not looking so good it wasn't looking so good for your girl Sydney, you know, and part of that was because of all the blacklisting done, in part due to the Elijah Schaffer situation, which I have no doubt he had a part in blacklisting her from all these different places so she couldn't rebuild her career. She still did it, and she still rebuilt her career fairly nicely and has 1 million subs, is averaging 400 or anywhere from 300 to 400 to 600 views a video, 600K views a video, I should say, and is doing very, 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 very well for herself, as opposed to someone like Lauren Chen, who I'm not gonna lie, is probably gonna need that same lifeline as, say, the quartering was given. But I think she has too much self-respect to go to the quartering ever, or any. Then again, the quartering's not even a savior anymore, because quartering is completely fresh out of anything. He's cooked. He is cooked, brother. Sorry, I'm also wiping down my mic. I apologize. I shouldn't be doing this now. I should have been doing this before the stream. I apologize. Anyways, let us get on with this nightmare situation that we have found ourselves in, and having to talk about Elijah Schaffer at any point in time, which is not a good thing, by the way. It's not a good thing to be talking about Elijah Schaffer ever. It really isn't. It's not healthy.
For my new subscribers.
All right, let me try and see. I can just back.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And a trip into hell is precisely what this video is. I think for a lot of people, this video is going to be a long time coming. And for my new
abso-fucking-lutely a long time coming. I'm still waiting, sweetheart, on the quartering video. We are all waiting with bated breath on the quartering video, where you expose Jeremy Hambley for the absolute weirdo that he is. And we are waiting with bated breath and intrigue, and we will be supporting you the whole way. Dude, I have the same fucking webcam. God damn it. That is amazing. Now, anyways, let's get on with it, and let's keep going and going and going.
Subscribers and for new friends of the channel, you are all going to be extremely confused, and I do not blame you for that. Your mama bird had a life before I hatched all of you from your eggs, okay? That was a weird analogy. I'm sorry about that one. Jokes aside, I think it is also worth noting too that as this video progresses, I want you to keep in mind that while all of this to most of you is spectator sport, and more specifically blood sport, this is my actual life, and the things that have happened have directly impacted my actual life. So the subject matter of this video is very sad and very dark, and it has brought me a tremendous amount of stress and pain over the last 4-ish years.
Like I said before, she was blacklisted. She was completely shunned from the conservative community, and people thought she was a liar. And this was because of the timing of this. And it was the timing. Excuse me. Let me take a minute.
And I say it's dark because it concerns a massive...
My bad. So yeah, she got blacklisted. She completely was stripped of a lot of credibility because of the timing. The timing was basically, this is like right after the whole blow up and just cavalcade of Me Too, and it's kind of around that same timing. I wouldn't say it was actually around the same time, but it was at a point where people were skeptical of women, especially in the conservative space, of women speaking up on these issues. So anytime a woman would speak up, it's like, well, we gotta be skeptical because you could be lying. People took that to, oh, you're definitely lying, because everyone's cynical, stupid mind goes, well, if this one case happened, that means, and that's the problem. When you lie, it creates this narrative, and it's a terrible narrative. It's disgusting. And women who do that should be held to a high standard of punishment for shit like that, because it creates so much damage. Look at what Sydney had to go through for something that clearly was not her fault. That was completely on Elijah Schaffer, and completely, absolutely exposed the type of scumbag he really is. And we're shocked that this guy was cheating on his wife and kids with, his wife, not his kids, obviously, but you know what I mean? Cheating on his wife with kids at home with this fucking blonde chick. Are we shocked? No. Elijah Schaffer is, and has always been, a degenerate scumbag.
Masterclass in manipulative behavior, compulsive and pathological lying, cheating, what I consider to be a form of grooming of younger men, sexual assault, and a host of other really untoward and negative things. It also concerns me being harassed both privately and publicly since about 2022-ish, and not being able to defend myself during this entire time. Funnily enough, after all of these years, everybody has been able to weigh in on my situation but me. And finally, I'm in a position where I would like to tell my side of the story and hopefully give myself some closure. So for those of you who don't know, I was friends with and formerly worked with an individual and an online commentator called Elijah Schaffer, who was recently exposed for having an affair, so to speak, with one of his employees, a woman named Sarah Stock. I will probably show you some unrelated clips of these two for visual purposes. So
You don't have to explain that. We know. Everyone, I know overlay clips. I do it all the time. Everyone overlays clips just for the, I guess, just to make the video look more professional. I personally do that as well. I will just show unrelated clips of just them talking with no sound on, because that's the whole point when you're talking. I don't know why I'm explaining overlay clips, but anyways.
you can put a name to a face.
Yeah.
You know what? I was actually nervous for everybody, considering the fact that like you were trying to pull the sword out and like you just didn't. You were trying to pull
and it was
out the
kind of
point.
heavy, and I almost like kind of like dropped it on my shoulder.
I think Tim knew. I think Tim knew they were fucking. It all comes back to Tim Pool somehow.
Too, and
Not good at
Yeah.
wielding the sword. That's definitely a true statement. So she is blonde.
For those who are not familiar with Elijah and his history as a commentator, the reason that this new information and these allegations appalled a lot of people and led them to accusing him of hypocrisy online is because Elijah, for years, has talked about his relationship with Christianity, giving himself over to God and his journey as a Christian, trying to do better and be better. In this podcast, for example, from 3 years ago, he talks about his history of doing drugs in his youth and, I suppose, not living up to the expectations of the church, but navigating his way through his belief system. It's worth noting, too, that despite his discussions around trying to be a better Christian and routinely telling us that he has given himself over to God and become a better person in the process, he simultaneously has continued to make comments like this.
You have that post ejaculate clarity. Post not clarity, they call it online.
Oh my god. You know, you gotta applaud how good of a piece of shit Elijah is, man. He just consistently, he just sounds, it just comes off as such a douchebag that I'm surprised anyone's shocked here. I never looked too much into Elijah Schaffer because I just said this guy's a retard that broke into the Capitol, and I thought he was a Fed. No, this is literally my exact inclination. I have no, this is allegedly, this is all what I think, whatever, blah, 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 whatever, cool. Okay, allegedly. I thought he was a Fed. All right. And the reason I thought this is because how the fuck do you break into the Capitol building? How the fuck do you do all, and then you get literally virtually no punishment. Right. And I always felt that the guy was just weird. But now looking back, I don't know if he's so much of a Fed, if he is just an absolute imbecile that not even the Feds take seriously. So who knows?
These days. But like, because you realize, like, after you nut, you're like, you're just a bunch of holes.
And we are shocked that Sydney Watson tried to sue this man for sexual harassment. Why?
And that's really sad because then it devalues women. So then your view of women becomes so low because women really are just a bunch of holes today. But that doesn't mean that's who they have to be or who God
Oh my fucking God. This is just bad.
made them to be or what they should be. And I think that a
Keep
lot of the
digging that
hatred
hole,
that I have
Elijah.
towards women and a lot of the hatred a lot of men have towards women is simply the product of generations of sin and rebellion that have created women to be something that they're not. They're not feminine. They're masculine.
Anyway, prior to the information about his alleged affair dropping, Elijah tweeted a series of things about his wife and children being kidnapped, then tweeted that he'd lost his car, or that I suppose it was stolen. And I don't know where this came from, but some people were talking about him saying that he'd lost his gun, which led a lot of people online to speculate that he had murdered his family.
Yeah, the Benoit situation. Everyone thought he Benoit his family. That was never the case. She just decided to get up and leave this useless piece of shit and say, I'm not going to be around your cheating, pathetic ass anymore. If you want to see your kids again, you play ball or I'm taking it all. Is basically going to be her statement. And the way it's looking, I hope that's the way she treats it. This guy is not a father, not a husband. He is a piece of shit. I think we all know that pretty much. I think we all should have probably put that together regardless. But yeah, this isn't going to end well for Elijah. It's really not. I think homie's gonna have to rebuild his career for something else, or I don't know, fuck off and go to a rehab center and then go get rehabilitated because this isn't good.
After this, he deleted those tweets, but then posted that his wife had actually left him and he was just sober and sad. After this, a host of additional information came to light. And the reason why none of this surprises me is because this is very similar to many of the claims that I made myself about Elijah years ago. And when these claims were coming out from me, a lot of people said that I was lying. There were people who flat out said that I was trying to Me Too Elijah, but we'll come back to all of that later. Soon, these affair accusations were substantiated in some capacity by an audio recording where we can hear Sarah, Elijah's employee, admitting that he got her drunk and reportedly the two hooked up.
All right, so let me just go by 2 here. I apologize. Playback. Let's go. No. Let's go 1.5.
Because it was like at CPAC the 2 nights. We were there, and the second night I was like breaking out in like a rash, and so he's like, "Oh, like get some Benadryl, it'll help with the rash." And like now I'm thinking back, and I was like, that's probably why I like whacked out, because he like intentionally gave me.
I have very mixed feelings about this entire thing. I'm like, how did you get to a point to where you somehow felt you were in a way drunk? But how would you not know taking all that Benadryl was going to make you loopsy? Like, you should know better. I don't know. It seems like this is, I think, cope on her part. I think she knew damn well she was going to fuck him, and she's just trying to make it look as though she was, put the narrative that she was seduced, and until it doesn't look so bad. So she looks like a victim in this, but I don't think she's a victim whatsoever. I think Sarah Stock is a piece of shit, personally. I always knew she was a piece of shit, and I always kind of knew what people who basically talk so much about race mixing and how much dating minorities is so bad. I already know that person is a degenerate piece of shit, because it comes from a place of just, I wouldn't even say projection. You clearly can spot a grifter from a mile away. And people who do shit like that, they're doing it for money. Most people don't actually have that hate in their heart, or they don't really care about dating minorities or anything. They just put it online for posturing. Most of these motherfuckers are a bunch of anime addicted losers who basically have no like prospects. So at the end of the day, it's like, who cares what they think? Race mixing is bad. Mixed people are terrible. Blah blah blah. Bro, you're an anime account. You are literally against the absolute creation. You are literally against anything God has ever created. You disgusting, unnatural piece of shit. I cannot take anyone who religiously watches some of the most disgusting shit ever conceived from Japan seriously when it comes to anything political. And I've said this, if you have any of those profile pics, I will automatically just mute and block you. You have nothing to say to me, because I already know you've rotted your brain out from corruption. Call it prejudice. I don't give a fuck. After the next Taku situation, I don't give a fuck anymore. If y'all can be prejudiced, I'm a hell of a prejudiced towards anime watchers. You're damn right. Back on the crusade. Let's go. But for real, in all seriousness, this shit, you just knew Sarah Stock was a fraud and a fake. You knew it. They all are, though.
Benadryl and like send me a bunch of shots and stuff. And like obviously it's like stupid on my part to like go along with that, you know? But at the same time, it's like he obviously like knew what he was doing.
It is worth noting that I personally fully believe this, because in the time that Elijah and I were friends, it was not a running theme, but it was well understood that he would try to get people blackout drunk. Now, his motivations for doing so,
no, like I said, I agree with that as well. But I know Sarah Stock probably knew what was going to happen, because if you knew, then everyone else would know. Sarah Stock would have known beforehand as well. It's kind of like a running theme that Elijah would do some shit like this. So everyone kind of knows that Elijah's a piece of shit. But that's just me, my interpretation. That's just my opinion.
Could not tell you, but it's worth understanding that this is a pattern of behavior. After this, more audio was released of Elijah drunkenly either berating his wife. It's quite unclear who is actually filming what he is saying. What I think is happening is that he is just talking about her in an awful way to somebody else. Obviously, that doesn't excuse this whatsoever, and this is an incredibly hard listen, fair warning. But this is something that Elijah would do, where he would get drunk and then discuss people like this.
Dumb bitch, please. I'm trying. God damn it.
God damn, I'm gonna get fucking, if I get age restricted again for this shit, I'm gonna be livid. I posted this whole thing and I got fucking age restricted. It is on my channel. It is right after my Elijah Schaefer and Sarah Stock video, where I talked about the situation, read through it with you guys. Well, this honestly, yeah, I got age restricted for this shit. I swear to God. I swear to God if I get hit with it again.
Being such a fucking whore. I'm like literally like, oh hey, you know what? Got a couple beers. Oh, why are you lying to me? Why are you lying to me? You don't like you're a fucking whore, you're a bitch. You need to shut the fuck up.
Let's skip along. And the reason I'm skipping along is because it's on my channel. You can watch it there. I'm not getting
Fuck you.
So
damn it.
line about Elijah that referred directly to his proclivities and his interest in same-sex relations. There was also a dossier that, I don't know if it was leaked or if it was just sent to a bunch of people, I'm not sure, but there was a dossier that came out that detailed a bunch of new allegations about Elijah and his current behavior and many of the things that he is currently doing. The YouTuber Tree of Logic, who is a friend of the channel, covered this dossier in a video, which I will link in the description box if you are interested in hearing the extent of the claims made against him.
Yeah, we could do that later.
By who I believe is a former employee. But it is worth noting here that this is not the first time that Elijah has been accused of untoward behavior. At the end of December 2022, an influencer called Christian Walker exposed that Elijah had cheated on his wife previously.
And if Christian Walker, anyone knows about if someone's gay as fuck, Christian Walker would, because that boy is about as fucking straight as a fucking winding sidewinder ass road in the middle of the night.
With one of Christian Walker's friends.
Elijah wants to act like he's some moral, high and mighty, better than everyone man. He was fired from...
I'm sorry. I can't stand this motherfucker. I know. I get it. What he's saying is completely righteous and right. I just cannot stand him. I swear to fucking God, I cannot stand Christian Walker. I don't know how you were the son of Herschel Walker and you're this annoying. I don't get it. Anyways, I'm shut up.
His job for inappropriate behavior, and not even a year ago at a conservative conference, he did my friend 4 times in one night, unprotected, while he was married. Go get your family life and your morality together, adulterer. You go study up on what morality actually is, because it ain't cheating on your wife. I met your wife. She was really kind, and it's gross to what you do to her behind her back when you go to conservative.
God damn, cook, sister, cook.
The conferences without her.
YouTuber Blair White also tweeted about Elijah in the past, alluding to his interactions with men in a not entirely platonic sense. It was also reported back in 2022 that Elijah was fired from his job at a right-wing network due to reportedly sexually assaulting a female colleague.
Dude, how did some of y'all really go off on Sydney and call her a liar and actually believe this fuck? It couldn't have been any more obvious that this 2-bit shyster was a fucking scumbag. Are we shocked by any of this? And it's really sad that this is the downfall, because in all honesty, of all things that Elijah has actually done, this is the most benign and tame in the sense that all he did was cheat. It's crazy that this is the one thing that actually, because compared to actually all the other shit he's done, holy fuck. Are you fucking kidding me? What a scumbag piece of absolute godless shit that he is. But he wants to claim Christianity. Fuck you, dude. You are an embarrassment. How dare you use Christianity for your own nefarious purposes? There's so many of you that do that, by the way, and you disgust all of us with that shit. I'm not even religious, but I have respect for actual people who do go through religion because it is a righteous path. And the fact that someone like this would use this as a way to basically make a career and lie to people and excuse his own disgusting behavior is just deplorable. And so many people do this, and it's just disgusting.
On this front too, I do think it's worth noting that I know of at least 2 other situations where Elijah groped or was sexually inappropriate, sexually harassed women. In one of those situations, I have screenshots corroborating that, but could not get permission from the person involved to publish them, which is completely understandable. In the other situation, there is audio of this floating around. And again, I am just not going to share people's stories like that if they are not interested in being involved. But I do want to make note of this because, once again, I think it's important for establishing a pattern of behavior. Editing Sydney from the future here, I just want to make note of the fact that this information at this juncture is, of course, only alleged. These situations are extremely awful when they transpire, and I would never want to put anybody else, especially not these specific women, in any awkward type of situation. And frankly, that's exactly the same way I feel about any young men who have articulated to me in the past that Elijah made them feel uncomfortable. For the men as well, there is so much stigma surrounding these events, and I just don't think it's my place to tell anybody else's story because people have been doing that to me for years, and so, yeah, I'm just not going to do that. A handful have talked publicly, such as one young man who recently said in a Twitter space that he had to put a chair up against a door when he stayed at Elijah's house because he was afraid Elijah would break in and do something to him. He also said that Elijah would walk around drunk with his gun. In other messages, I was told by a friend in
Jesus Christ. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, this guy is an actual demon. He's an actual legitimate fucking demon. He's not human. He's an actual demon.
the industry about his conversation with 2 young male influencers, where one warned the other about never being alone with Elijah due to his behavior. On top of that, another young man sent me a video where Elijah went into his room and put sexual imagery on the walls and some weird stuff on the floor as well. Some of you might also remember a video that circulated some time ago where a young Nick Fuentes fan alluded to Elijah trying to buy him drinks. The teen referred to Elijah as a British cigarette, if you catch my drift, a bundle of sticks, if you will, and discussed how Elijah and another person called Ali Alexander, a known PDF file on the right wing, tried to hit on him. Another individual.
Of course, because, you know, And by the way, you know who else covered that up? Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes didn't want to take any accountability for the fact that he watched that shit transpire. Kind of funny, we're going after Nux for. It's kind of what Nick Fuentes did as well, where he just allowed that shit to happen, and we're all good with that, by the way. Somehow of letting this disgusting predator, walk up and in these spaces, and uncertain terms, sexually assault younger men, and we were all just good with that. Apparently, we're all supposed to be like okay with that, according to Nick Fuentes. So I just wanted to make a note of that Nick Fuentes did know and did allegedly know. I mean, allegedly is all alleged, even though the evidence allegedly shows it. This guy knew, and he is a piece of shit, allegedly. And yeah. I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, all this is alleged. At the end of the day, but between you and me, yeah, piece of shit, dude. All alleged, by the way, all alleged. But yeah, everyone kind of, yeah. Ali Alexander is just a disgusting, godless human being as well, who should be put in a cage somewhere. Or honestly, I hope there's a wood chipper around, for chopping wood. There's a lot of wood to chop around here these days.
Who was privy to Elijah's behavior shared their own screenshot with me where they allege that he is the Diddy of the right wing. In this message, this person alleges that he used his position to manipulate young men and women, give them drugs and alcohol, and put them in compromising positions while intoxicated or high. This person adds that he would later, sometimes, take photos of them in order to use those photos against them at a later date if need be. This person goes on to add that his cheating was an open secret, but he would threaten those around him with legal repercussions if they said anything. Now, I want to be clear. I know that to a bunch of people, this will all seem like very unhelpful gossip, and ordinarily, I would actually agree with you. But considering I was friends with this person and in his orbit for a number of years, I think this goes well beyond a person who has some out-of-the-box proclivities and an inability to stay faithful to his wife. We are talking about a person who has done untold damage to the people around him, who has threatened his own friends, who has lied prolifically, and who continues to act depraved while presenting himself online as a Christian figure who should be instructing other people and giving other people advice on how to live. And I have seen almost everything that I'm talking about here with my own eyes. It's probably worth saying, but I do hope it's obvious that my motivation for making this video is not to be vengeful or malicious. I freely admit that I do have a lot of anger in me over
this is, of course, I would absolutely be accepting if this was for vengeance, because fuck that dude, he's a piece of shit. But there's nothing to get revenge on. Elijah Schaffer let himself have it. It's not about letting him have it anymore. It's not. He just let himself have it. There's no point to get revenge on Elijah Schaffer because Elijah Schaffer was going to do himself in, and now it's funny to watch him flounder, fail, and nuclear bomb, while people like Sydney rise, which I think is just beautiful. That's the ultimate revenge. Succeeding while others in your past have failed. Yeah, we basically, yeah. I mean, that's basically the actual real revenge,
the things that have happened over the years, but that is certainly not the guiding principle here. I feel and have always felt that Elijah's behavior is intolerable. And I just cannot in good conscience sit back while this person is able to probably successfully outrun a series of serious accusations again, like he did with the initial SA allegation in 2022. In making this video, I of course feel quite motivated to give my side of the story and to lay some rumors to rest and explain some of my interactions with Elijah and sort of what I've been experiencing over the years. But I also want to balance that by giving some insights into this person and some of the things that I do think are important enough to be articulated. And, truthfully, I think that he needs to seek help or in the very least remove himself from the public sphere entirely. For the most part, the screenshots that I'm sharing in this video, I do have permission to post. I asked everybody if it was okay. There might be one or two that I include that I haven't gotten express permission to put in here, but the reason I'm sharing those ones and they come a little bit later is because I want to highlight what I said, not what the other person was saying. Also, the sole reason that I'm even sharing screenshots is because I want to corroborate what I'm saying, and I don't want anybody to, accuse me of basically just talking out the butt, because I'm not doing that. Since all of this new information has dropped, a ton of people have said to me that I am vindicated because, like I mentioned, I did make a series of similar claims about Elijah a number of years ago. Now, at the time when those claims were made public, a bunch of people took that as an opportunity and an invitation to not only lie about me, but to say that I was trying to Me Too Elijah, to question my morals and my integrity. And also they took that as an opportunity.
Basically, Sydney got she got outcasted. She got blacklisted and pegged as a liar again because of the timing and the way that at the time that people in the right wing hated these type of allegations because they felt the woman was always lying for clout or for gain. And Sydney got pegged as that because of that, and also due to her kind of more moderate Republican view. She wasn't like an actual real type of like an actual far right or straight classic stereotypical conservative woman. She actually had some liberal type views when it came to feminism and feminine qualities. So of course people took it as, oh, she's lying, she's this. It's fucking stupid, but that's exactly what the problem is. And as a guy myself, I have to speak on this. A lot of you dudes are really hampering like gender relations with your bullshit, with your crybaby nonsense. It needs to stop. Sometimes, guys, sometimes a woman's just telling the fucking truth. Actually, a lot of the time they are telling the truth when it comes to this shit. There are liars out there, so you always have to play the neutral card, but you guys aren't being neutral. You're actively denouncing and deterring women from speaking out and saying this and saying what happened to them because you automatically believe there's some nefarious purpose to it, and that needs to stop. It's called being neutral and waiting for evidence to take shape. And if not, then you can make your judgment. But I feel as though this is something that's a real alarming issue, and I'm really alarmed by the fact that this is a thing. And for Sydney's sake, I think it's ridiculous the way that they treated her.
To drag my name and my reputation through the mud. I admittedly still feel a ton of anger and frustration about all of that taking place, as I'm sure most of you would in a similar situation.
I mean, I would have had to work with the fucking quartering. If I had to work for the quartering because I had nothing else, then yeah, I'd be fucking pissed too.
Being misrepresented is just not.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Jeremy fucking Hambley, who basically during this entire time shit on Elijah Schaefer the entire time he had Sydney Watson working with him or under him or whatever the way you will. Shout out to him because after Sydney basically left and clowned him basically for being an absolute clown, because everything that Sydney probably said behind the scenes about quartering is right and then some. You actually then proceeded to be buddy with Elijah Schaefer, like the little bitch that you are. So shout out to Jeremy Hambley as the scumbag that he is. I look very forward to watching Kino Casino tonight because they're going to take a giant shovel to the back of your head on this one. And I also look forward to your downward spiral more as you have proven to be a heathenistic scumbag with zero moral, zero qualities and moral principle. In short, go fuck yourself, my guy. Signed, everyone. Okay, I'm good.
Not something that I appreciate, and I have never appreciated that. And there is something uniquely terrible about not being afforded the ability to have your own say and to knock down crappy rumors and things that are just certifiably untrue. When I initially met Elijah in 2019, for all intents and purposes, he was just a regular newlywed guy. He was just a guy. And by 2020, he had moved to Texas and then encouraged me to move to Texas and to move into the same apartment building, which I did. And so we were neighbors. And this was really cool for me because his wife was one of my closest friends, and she and I hung out all the time, and I really enjoyed our time together. Whereas, and I think this is important, he and I rarely spent time together, just the two of us. The behavior in question and a lot of sort of what we're talking about now really only started to take place in 2021-ish, and that is when it really started to accelerate. Elijah and I eventually had a show together on a right-wing network between mid-2021 to the beginning of 2022. I ended up taking legal action against my former employer. The complaint, which is accessible and public online through court records and through legal document websites like PaySat and whatnot, detailed accusations of hostile work environment, sexual discrimination, and sexual harassment perpetrated by Elijah. We settled.
So again, when this all transpired and people took their sides, which again I think is just fucking retarded, Sydney got legitimately blacklisted. And again, she had to work with the fucking court. I cannot stress to you how bad this shit got to where you have to work with that guy. Good Lord. But yeah, it's insane how this all transpired, all because they took the side of that fucking degenerate freak. And this is a lesson, people. You need to start doing your due diligence on these cases and stop putting your own narratives into cases and just start looking at the things that are said. This guy was clearly a degenerate piece of shit, always has been, and he's threatening his wife's family. I don't know why. It doesn't seem to be working out for you, Elijah. You need to get help, my guy, or find Jesus so he can tell you to go get fucking help. Because if you were to find Jesus, he'd tell you to get the fuck away from him and get help. Because there's no helping you religiously. You need to actually go seek psychiatric help. Then you can be let back into religious practices. But right now, this is embarrassing. And at the end of the day, like going through all of this shit, I have got to say this. What the fuck was the Blaze thinking? Like, this is just stupid. How could you? Why? First of all, Elijah was not even a good talent. Elijah was untalented, man. I can't believe I'm saying this. Ethan Ralph was even right about this dude. He said, Pathetic. He's right. He was always right. Ended up Ethan Ralph Dub. I can't believe I'm saying that. Oh God, that hurt my soul. But for real, this is just embarrassing. This is such a dumb situation. And it is a saying that people believed that Sydney was lying when Sydney's never had a history of doing that. I can understand that Sydney had a history of doing that, but this was the one and only time. So I don't know what to tell you.
That lawsuit at the end of 2024, I signed a confidentiality agreement. So it is worth noting for the purposes of this video that I am not going to talk about that suit. I'm not going to talk about the company I worked for, my time at the company, or anything relating to anything to do with that. All of my
Oh yeah, they always make you do that. They always make you sign a confidentiality thing. I fucking hate how sleazy the corporate world is. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. But whatever. You got to do what you got to do. It is what it is. If she didn't do that, she might not even be here today actually having a platform. So who knows? I get she had to do what she had to do. But God, do I hate how sleazy these corporations and these companies and all these things can be. Even something like that claims to be a free speech network like The Blaze is full of shit. It's all full of shit. It's every bit of it. All of it's garbage.
Claims about Elijah's behavior are publicly available through PESA and through court records and the other websites like Justia and whatnot that have.
I might take a look at that to refresh later. But maybe after Kino, because I gotta watch the Quartering's demise. Sorry about that. But I gotta watch the Quartering's demise tonight. He's gonna get so owned over so much shit. The porn thing is still fucking funny to me. It's the way he's defending it. Oh man. Anyways.
I guess, legal documents on them. Just to be clear, once again, what I'm saying in this video has nothing to do with my former employer. It doesn't have anything to do with my time at that company, and it has nothing to do with the ins and outs of my lawsuit. What I'm talking about here relates to things that I saw in my personal life, and a lot of what I'm articulating has actually taken place after both Elijah and I left that company. Anyway, when my lawsuit dropped and my accusations and claims about Elijah became public, a lot of people said that I was a horrible feminist demon person who was trying to get even with men. People said...
This is, again, during that time where people were to sit there and think that if a woman speaks out on this, she will be... you're going to label her this this hussy that's just after fucking money. It's so dumb. Really. I said this then. It's not hard to fucking judge cases, guys. Just stay neutral. You don't have to take a side. Just don't take a side. It's not hard. You don't have to take a side. Just say, listen, I'm waiting to gather all the evidence. I do not have a statement at this time. That's all you guys got to really say. I don't know why you guys go into this idea of thinking you need to say something when clearly that's just not the case. There's nothing to say at that time. But of course, here we are. And now every one of y'all have to kind of look stupid. Now you're going in apologizing to her in DMs and shit, a lot of you. And I'm just like, just stay silent. You fucked up. Just move on. Because at the end of the day, man, this is just dumb. I don't know why we lost our way when it comes to the legal system, but the legal system may be broken, and it is. But so are the people who are the ones within it. Because I feel as though we've gotten to a point where people just stop learning how to do the common sense thing, and they're just reacting on emotion, both sides. And I don't know why. I really don't.
I mentioned that I was trying to be to Elijah. People just flat out said that I was lying, that I had made things up. It's sort of hard to explain how this happened, but also as my relationship broke down with Elijah, a lot of my close friends either jumped ship completely or just decided to say nothing. And I think the reason for the saying nothing is obviously because people don't want to be involved in drama and whatnot, which I get and I can respect that.
I mean,
the people who jump ship, though,
it can destroy your whole brand to where, again, you have to work with the Quartering of all fucking things. But for real, it can destroy your brand. There's a lot of reasons why. It's cowardly in a way, sure, but I understand somewhat of why people just were like, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. But also, it's like, the ones who outright just denied it, I just don't understand how you did that. This guy is a degenerate piece of shit. His reputation speaks for himself and not in a good light. Allegedly. All this is alleged information. Right. Okay. Yes. But I think now with this isn't even so alleged. This isn't alleged. He is actively threatening the family members of his soon-to-be ex-wife, most likely. The guy's not a good dude. Clearly. Breaking news. Ilya. Wow. Okay, anyways, I don't know. Some ice skater went in 8th place and basically bombed. Anyways, listen, this is insane that people chose to believe Elijah in the sense that, man, the guy is a legitimate bumbling imbecile and a complete pervert. and has been one on stream in front of everyone. I'm shocked people just like took his side. Like, is that how bad it was back in that time where people were just so fed up with the Me Too movement they were willing to believe the most skeeviest motherfuckers were not capable of being exactly what they are on a daily basis?
I think that must have to do with the fact that Elijah always made it seem like he could help you get ahead if you were very loyal to him.
And that's the thing I don't understand. How? What the fuck does this guy have to actually even to actually be like that? Elijah Schaffer has zero talent, and I don't even mean this in the way just because I'm shitting on him for all the disgusting, deplorable things. No, let's just strict away all of this shit away from all of it. Strict away all the degenerate shit. Strict away all the allegations. Can anyone tell me that this guy has any talent? Because I know damn well he has no talent. Elijah Schaffer has no talent whatsoever on any conceivable level. This guy is a spurg. He has no talent. He's not very intelligent. He's a fucking idiot. There's no fucking way this guy should have ever been relevant on any sense, and he never was. When we go through, I've been doing this for 5 to 6 years. I've done multiple accounts. I've deleted some of them. I've had bigger followings, and I blew it up. Now I'm rebuilding the right way. Whatever. Cool. Anyways, I've never, ever even heard about this guy up until the last 2 years. That is no joke. I did not, maybe I heard about him through, again, the fucking lawsuit, but I didn't start looking into it until the last 2 years. I didn't care. I really only heard about, can't speak. I really only looked into Elijah Schaffer because of just the quartering shit, because I am a devout hater of that fucking dude. So I looked into Elijah Schaffer and I was like, oh my God, this guy is a scumbag. But I only really heard a glance about him through the lawsuit with Sydney Watson, kind of, but I kind of stuck my nose into something else at the time. So I wasn't really focusing on the Sydney Watson shit. I could tell you this. I've maybe before the last month, I've only mentioned Elijah Schaffer. Not even last month, like the last 2 weeks. I've only ever mentioned Elijah Schaffer maybe 3 times before that on stream or in any passing. We've never discussed it. Me, Chris, Mac, none of us in the group ever discussed this guy. How does he have any relevance? This guy is untalented, and he absolutely has nothing to offer anyone. He basically is just a corporate sponge at this point. He has to be. He has to be pushed by some corporate entity, or he has some deep money connections, something, because there's nothing to tell me this guy should be legit on any level at all. There's nothing there. I don't understand. Someone's got to help me with that.
Was always kind of nonsense because he made out like he had all these connections and could do all these things, but it very, very rarely materialized.
And then she just blows that out of the water. She blows my whole theory out of the water, because now I really have to ask, okay, then why is he still in the spot that he's in? Where is he getting any money from? What the? So he's basically astroturfed by someone. Someone's astroturfing him, right? Because she just blew it out of the water. She just blew my whole theory out the water. No deep money connections at all. Are you fucking kidding me? He has to be astroturfed. He has to be and it's even worse because at least with Hassan has marketability. He's an untalented, unintelligent, slow, dim-witted retard. Okay, if you ever watch Hassan Piker, it's dreadful. He just sits there like a goofy retard. He couldn't even fucking go through more than 10 minutes of the Nick Andros fucking Nux fucking expose. And this is one of the guys that's been your mortal enemy for the last year. You had an easy victory dub, and this idiot couldn't even go through more than 10 minutes and still got facts wrong. You fucking moron. God, he sucks. But again, even that guy still has marketability. There's something there I understand. I can understand that. There is a certain quality, and he's not that much of a degenerate. He's a degenerate piece of shit, but he's nowhere near Elijah. He's nowhere near that. Thank God for his sake. But that we know of, allegedly, that we know of. But what the fuck, dude? Wow. I have never figured it out. I guess we never will. It has to be some shadow fucking astroturfing.
But when you're in a situation where if you're a smaller creator or whatever and you want to grow, you're going to hitch your wagon to the person that you think can get you further ahead, which was not me at the
yeah.
time. And I think it's crap, obviously, but I get it. Why would you want to side with the person who's getting publicly lambasted? That sort of doesn't make any sense. But with that said, the other component to this is that because Elijah is a pathological liar, I can only imagine the things that he was saying about me behind the scenes to people, and what kind of a picture he was painting. So I think there are a lot of factors with that.
I think he helped get you blacklisted. I mean, let's be real. You had to work with Jeremy Hambley. It got that bad. So at the end of the day, when you have to go down so low to some scumbag like the quartering, you know it's bad. And the thing is, of course, you saw saying things public, like, you know, behind the scenes about you. It's what these people do, and that's kind of why people turn. He took advantage of a time where people just were not trusting of women coming out because of the Me Too movement, and how many at the end of the Me Too movement, how many false stories came out. Remember, we had one bitch that came out and said Stan Lee fucking assaulted her. And old ass Stan Lee that could barely fucking walk was like sexually assaulted you. Yeah, okay, I'll take that for $1. Shut the fuck up. You're stupid. No, he didn't. Because he's fucking senile. You're fucking dumb. You're an absolute idiot. Sit your ass down. Her story made no damn sense. Like, it got to that point, we're just like, you know what? We need to stop believing in this crap, because now we got people lying. And once that started happening and people started to try to take advantage of this whole bullshit to make money, and then the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation came out, which really drove a nail into this thing, and I was there for that. It was just around that time where people were so tired of it that they swung the pendulum the opposite way of now all women are liars, which again is just not fucking fair and not accurate. And clearly now everyone has to pay for the fallout of that. And now you got to pay for the fallout of Elijah Schaffer. So enjoy that one.
The reason I bring it up is because I do want to demonstrate that I was publicly going through, you know, a lot of horribleness, and then at the same time, I didn't really have any friends, and I didn't really have anyone around me. Almost to add insult to injury, a bunch of people in the industry actually reached out to me at the time to express their support, but they wouldn't do so publicly. Which again, you guys have to understand, you know, when you're talking about angry audiences and all this kind of thing, like, people just don't want to be involved in drama, and you know, to a large extent, I get that. But with that said, Elijah's behavior was an open secret and something that most people knew about because
and it's insane. Because again, that is how insane this entire Me Too shit was. That people would sit there and actively believe this scumbag over her because of the anti-Me Too movement. I'm telling you, that's what it was. It was the timing. If this allegation were to come out probably in the Me Too era or right before it, Sydney would have been believed by a lot more people, but people's clouds were so jaded and hazed. I don't know what else to say. And I don't know why. I was like, do you guys not, like, I looked into this guy. I'm like, how do people believe this guy was a good dude? And everyone was like, oh, it's all good now. Elijah basically beat that. Like, yeah, he beat that off of what? Because I don't see how you guys think he's a good dude. He's a scumbag. I mean, what are we doing? And now, again, we're dealing with, and again, you have to fucking, he's now getting the backlash he deserves over something that's actually completely like, while cheating is wrong and disgusting and immoral, it's the least worst thing he's possibly ever done. Isn't that crazy? Somehow, like the most benign thing of what you ever done, where you could probably get away with it, now you're getting caught up in it. And yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all. You know, fuck him. It's what he deserves. He's a piece of fucking shit, and he's paying for it. And that's how I feel. I have no care for what happens to Elijah Schaffer. I would say I hope he gets better. I just don't think he will. I have no faith that he's going to get better. But we are not the halfway point of this video. Let's try and drive this shit home.
they witnessed it at events and parties and whatever that were taking place in the space. Like this message from a big creator who told me that anytime this person would see Elijah at events, they'd run away because he was creepy. Those of us who were friends with Elijah also got to witness a lot of this behavior in real life all of the time because he has a problem with substances. And when people are on substances, they obviously...
This dude is a fucking addict. He needs literally to be put in a rehabilitation center. There is no religion that can help this shit. It's called rehab. Go to rehab, then go into AA and shit. Go into religion from that standpoint. But Elijah's not going to do that. I think Elijah's going to crash the fuck out. He's probably going to do something really drastically bad, I think, in the next few years. And I'm scared, and I would be very worried for his wife and children because I think he's the type of guy that's capable of hurting them. I really do. I really do believe that he is someone that's capable of hurting others, and he should be monitored very closely. And I hope to God his wife and kids are staying very safe away from this man.
Behave in a way that is different to how they act in real life. Real life? No, what am I saying here? When they're sober, they act differently to being sober. I am tired and hungry. But despite all of this, I feel like I sort of got hung out to dry because a lot of people knew that what I was saying was truthful, but they just weren't prepared to publicly back me. And so this narrative that I was this horrible demon lady was born and then persisted, which sort of makes no sense because if we're being honest with ourselves, there is really no meaningful benefit to a woman on the right wing in the media space, especially going after a man publicly in the media space for his behavior as it pertains to sex-based mistreatment. People automatically do not believe you because of the Me Too movement and other movements like this, and people assume that you are weaponizing.
That's exactly, again, that's what I said earlier. Once the Me Too movement happened, it just drove everyone to being the opposite, just swinging the pendulum to that angle, which is just stupid. In reality, you're supposed to be neutral in cases and read through the case and use your head and rely on the evidence of the case. And if you read through Sydney's case, it's pretty obvious this is all in line with what Elijah does anyway. So a pattern is a pattern. That doesn't prove that it's 100% one for one the truth, and he clearly did it. Sure, you can look at it from that angle, and you probably have a point. But to sit there and outwardly think that Sydney Watson lied is just fucking retarded.
The legal system, there's no upside to this. I'm serious. There's no upside to this. There's no believe all women for the right wing. So for me, my motivation.
Absolutely not. Never was. In fact, there was a believe that they're lying. believe that they're all lying, which is just not a good way to counteract that. The whole point you need to preach is being bipartisan, impartial. But unfortunately, people just don't know how to do that.
Is and has always been to advocate for myself and to tell the truth. But self-advocation doesn't exactly keep you warm at night, and this became a very isolating, lonely, sad time. And honestly, it was one where I was being bombarded day in and day out with abusive messages and comments from Elijah's audience. This went on for literally years, and I bet you this is going to happen to this video as well. Don't be surprised if those of you who lurk the comments see a bunch of this crap. Yeah, these people will come to basically videos that I made, videos that I was in, whatever, and just leave heinous, horrible comments.
Some people still do. I don't know why. Other than the fact that, again, if you're a fan of Elijah Schaffer, I think that's lower than a groiper at that point. You're just lower than a groiper. You might as well just put the Nazi anime profile pic on you and go on with your life so people can block you all on social media because no one needs to talk to you. Because what the fuck, bro? Oh my God. Being a fan of Elijah Schaffer, is that how far some of you have fallen?
And obviously messages as well. As soon as my lawsuit dropped, I was correctly instructed to not say anything or respond to anything publicly. So I kind of just had to sit back and roll with being lied about and misrepresented. And so began one of the darkest times in my little life. I think a lot of you knew during this period that I was not okay because you would reach out a lot. Like people would reach out a lot and message me and be like, hey, are you doing okay? You don't seem okay. And I was not. I was suffering inside. It's kind of funny because I wouldn't necessarily.
I mean, again, I keep repeating it, but look who she had to work with. You knew it was bad. You knew it was just bad.
Necessarily describe myself as a particularly strong person because I am quite emotional, but I would say that I am someone who endures. So I forced myself to put myself back out there and to start doing shows and interviews and go on panels and whatnot. But looking back, it was like every show I did at the time, I was trying to minimize myself because I didn't want to be bashed anymore. For example, when I was on trigonometry, I so wanted to say all these things and go hard on specific ideas, but I don't know, I completely held back because I wanted to spare myself from further attacks. And it's just so to admit that, because that's not who I am. I've never been the sad, weak thing. And yet, I was downtrodden. That sounds pathetic. I don't know how to describe it. I internally was a steaming pile of sads and there was no escaping it. I'm still sort of there today a little bit where I don't weigh in on a heap of stuff because I just want to be left alone. And to be quite frank with all of you, that's why this video was a really big back and forth for me mentally, trying to decide if I wanted to weigh in and wanted to potentially put a target on my back, which this is going to inevitably do. And as you can tell, that the angry side won out. So yeah, the more that Elijah would make comments about me and his weird little cronies would make comments about me, the more that his audience would come to the comment sections of whatever I was posting about or videos or whatever and write horrific fanfic about raping and murdering me. And it was relentless for a while.
Jesus Lord. You gotta just love how absolutely cringe a lot of you internet people are. You wouldn't say this shit in a normal setting, but man, give a keyboard and it's like, like, are you serious, bro? I say some harsh shit, but what the? Again, it's usually within like a reaction to something else. I don't go out of my way to attack to attack other people like that, unless they say dumb shit, and I don't even go there. You're supposed to. You gotta be within reason, bro. All you motherfuckers are just weirdos. And again, they are Elijah Schaffer fans, which is odd because I don't know where the fuck he got a following from. I still don't get it. Whatever.
And admittedly, it made me kind of bitter. It honestly got to the point where people would invite me on their shows and I'd turn them down and just explain that I didn't want them to have to deal with the heat that having me on would bring, because, you know, the comment sections weren't just being overwhelmed for me, they were being overwhelmed from, you know, for these people as well. I'm sorry, I can't speak. Like I said, I'm hungry. While all this was happening too, I had the pleasure of finding out that Elijah was also talking incredible amounts of crap about me behind the scenes to industry people or to people that I knew at parties and at events and when he was in studio. He told people that I tried to sleep with him, which is just... This is also not terribly surprising because he would make the same claim about many of the women who he came into contact with. He said that I tried to break up his marriage. That was a fun one. He said that I was this insane feminist crazy person who he had to sue to shut up. Periodically, I get a message saying that Elijah was in studio with someone and they heard him say that he won a lawsuit against me for millions of dollars. This one's weird to me because this is so...
That's not what happened. Why would he say that?
Easily disproven. And it's just such an odd thing to lie about to begin
Right,
with.
why?
I don't know what to do with this one. Recently, actually like a month ago, he was publicly saying this. He went on Sean Mike Kelly's podcast and said that I sued him and he had to spend millions of dollars to defend himself and that I lost.
You know what's funny? This is the second time I've been sued for millions of dollars. The first time I got sued was for having Nick Fuentes on my show.
You got sued for that?
I got sued for millions of dollars for hosting Nick Fuentes on my podcast.
Who sued you for that?
2022. Sydney Watson.
What? I'm sorry. That's gotta be like the greatest lie I've ever heard. So, oh my God. What? Oh yeah, Sydney Watson, for some reason out of nowhere, sued me for millions of dollars because of Nick Fuentes. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And I've heard some dumb shit in the past few weeks alone. Hell, my comment section has had some dumb people. Of course, they have anime profile pics, so of course I'm going to hear dumb shit. But my God, that's special stupid. That's like another. That's a level of stupid that wow, buddy, wow. People watch this guy. Holy fuck.
Australian YouTuber who was my co-host at the time. I would thought it was weird. I got sued for sexism, and then people thought it was being sued for sexual assault or sexual harassment. But
no, it was for sexual harassment. It wasn't for sexism. You fucking retard. It was for sexual harassment. You fucking asshole. It was for sexual harassment. And then because at the time you got the benefit of the doubt because people were so fed up with the Me Too shit and the Johnny Depp trial and all this other crap, you got to skate by even though you were basically a piece of shit in public. Now, those things are alleged. We don't know. Technically, alleged. But due to your track record, I think a lot of people would lean towards the other way today than back then. Why lie about this? Why even say anything? Just shut up. Oh, that's right, because you're a drug-fueled fucking moron.
Was sex harassment based upon me targeting her as a woman. So they claimed it was about discrimination, but really she was bitter because Nick Fuentes made her look bad on a podcast.
Nick Fuentes, that podcast, he didn't even do. Everyone says Nick Fuentes made her look bad on that podcast, and no, he didn't. To this day, I don't know what people are saying with that. That's not what happened. I swear to God, people make Nick Fuentes out to be something that he's not. And it's so funny watching people now get pissed off with buyer's remorse right now with what Nick Fuentes is doing. Guys, the dude is basically a shit posting troll. He's not a real political activist or advocate or commentator of any kind. Just like Hassan Piker isn't, neither's Nick Fuentes. God, those two should just fucking get a room, huh? But it's the same principle. I don't understand why we fall for this same shit over and over. Well, why you guys do, not me. But why you guys fall for this shit. I don't get it. It's in your face. And then you got this idiot over here proving that none of these people are real. None of them are real. It's none of them. Again, Ethan Ralph was always right about this dude. He's sad, pathetic, gay.
And it ruined her reputation. And so she couldn't sue him for being smarter than her. She went after one of her best friends. She was my neighbor too.
Wow.
And yet tried to get me fired. They stole my YouTube channel in the process, crashed my career, got me stuck in lawfare, all because I had a person they didn't like on my...
Oh no, not because you were a raging piece of shit, a creep, and had multiple people throwing multiple allegations towards you, including men and women of all kinds. But okay, Elijah, take no accountability for your shit. It's like you're doing now, where you're blaming everyone else for your bullshit. And it's like, Elijah, at some point where there's smoke, there's a fucking goddamn house fire. Well, motherfucker, there's a lot of smoke from the California forest fires. That's your career. You fucking piece of shit. I cannot stand him. He makes me actually annoyed. I hate people like him. So if I sound very annoyed, this is why. He's such a wormy piece of shit.
Podcast. It was a crazy time, but I beat that one. Got out completely.
No,
Apparently,
you didn't.
it's not illegal to have Nick on your podcast, but it'll cause you problems.
But hold up. You just said you got completely out of that one, right? But you just said it did damage to you. How does that make any sense? Fucking moron, dude.
Now, why Sean hasn't deleted this entire episode, or at least edited this part out of it, I don't know, because Sean is aware
Because it's entertaining, to be honest.
of the fact that this is a lie, because I DM'd him and told him that. Why Sean did not reach out to me before publishing actual lies, I also don't know, because I would have set the record straight if he just asked. And Sean, if you watch this, or if somebody sends it to you and maybe gives you the cliff notes, I will say it's probably in your best interest to delete this kind of thing, because you know it's not true. So, I think it's also pretty.
Well, it's entertaining. Maybe that's why. I don't fucking know. He just puts over like the bar says, this is obviously cope, seethe, and lies. Cope, seethe, and lies. And then we can all be good. Oh, it's a disclaimer. Okay, cool. Because it's cope, seethe, and lies. It's like the obvious cope, seethe, and a lie. Like, how could anyone believe what this dumb fuck just said? Like, what are you talking about? He just contradicted himself in like 3 different ways. Oh, I got it scot-free in one. But also, I really didn't, because I lost this, and this. Okay, so what?
Be important to note that while the YouTube video that I have shown you here that I screen recorded has fewer than 1,000 views as of filming this video, Sean Kelly actually cut a clip from this podcast and posted it on Instagram and made sure to include my face, which, like, yeah, really great work, Sean. I super appreciated that. By the time
You gotta love people in this space, bro. Oh man, that's fucking brutal. That's brutal, buddy.
I was made aware of it, it had accumulated somewhere between 300,000 to 500,000 views with hundreds or maybe even thousands of comments. I wish I'd taken a screenshot so I could have showed you guys, but yeah, it had lots of views, lots of comments, and I got lots of messages. Because I'm a glutton for punishment, I will, for all of you, link the YouTube podcast in the description box so that you can view it for yourself, because obviously for the sake of brevity, I cut out some of what was said, but if you want the full picture, it'll be there for you to watch in your own time. So this never happened.
Okay.
I never sued Elijah, and I genuinely have no idea why people keep running with this when this, again, is...
No, the lawsuit was against the Blaze, so that has nothing to do with anything. No. It's just so dumb.
So easy to corroborate. If this had happened, there would be public court records about it.
Yes,
which
there
are
would.
Not. Elijah also tweeted about this as well, saying in late 20...
Yeah, there'd be tons of public court records, so it never happened, bud. I don't know why you keep saying that. Like, I don't know why he would say all that. Like, it just makes... There's no advantage to saying that, other than if you're trying to make yourself some victim, which... I guess
2025 that he was wrongfully sued by an ex-colleague and she lost. He said that people defamed him over her slander, which she leaked.
I don't know how he does this, but that's just diluted shit. He must be like high like every fucking 5 seconds, bro.
To the press. Never spoke to the press. Never sued him. When he was questioned about this, he said that he had copies of depositions and that he was locked up by an NDA that would disprove what I have to say, and that I got my ass handed to me in court. Again, we were never
in court. I'm kind of wishing she'd sue him now, though. It would be really key
in legal proceedings with one another. He was never deposed for these made-up legal proceedings, and I never got my ass handed to me in made-up court. Don't do...
Well, it is made-up court. So in made-up court, there are no rules. So maybe he did hand you your ass in made-up court. Remember, are we on the South Park rules of imagination? So if it's imaginary, it's still real. Oh, God, let's not get into this.
Drugs kids. Anyway, as you can imagine, I once again got an influx of angry little messages calling me all sorts of names and being abusive because of this lie, because someone decided not to fact check and just publish crap that Elijah was saying. And I have to imagine that Elijah would bank on the fact that I wouldn't defend myself, because it's a real catch-22 with these people, right? If you say something and you react to it and respond to it, you're doing 2 things. Number one, you're giving these people what they want. You're giving them the attention that they so desire, and they kind of win. You are also breathing life into their psychobabble.
This is like a Dark Side Phil discussion. But she's right, but it's like, God, this is what Phil was saying. Dark Side Phil. Oh, God. Poor Phil. Nah, I'm fucking with y'all. Fuck that motherfucker. But for real, like, it seems like a Dark Side Phil discussion.
The other side of this is that if you don't say anything, then you're basically giving them license to keep talking crap about you as much as they want, and they know that you're not going to do anything to defend yourself. On that point too, if I had done something here and sent this guy like a cease and desist letter or something and asked him to stop lying about me publicly, all that would do is help him further this narrative that there's lawfare being perpetrated against him and basically strengthen this narrative that he's constructed around himself. And of course, for me, that would just bring about more of the same crap that I have been dealing with for the last 4 years. So to be extremely, extremely clear, so there is no doubt, nothing that Elijah has said about me privately or publicly has been true. And when he inevitably watches this video or is sent this video and goes insane online, which he's going to do, he is going to lie about me some more. And
The thing is, no one's gonna believe him now because of the situation. Everyone now just looks at him as a pathetic, run-of-the-mill liar. That no one cares. Hey, Charlotte. No one cares what Elijah thinks. No one gives a fuck that Elijah Schaffer is saying all this. No one cares. So he's gonna lie about you, but we're all just gonna meme on him and laugh at him. He's so disgraced to the point where people are just gonna be like, "Yeah, okay, great, bro, but why'd you cheat on your wife, buddy?" It's like John De La Rose, where it doesn't matter what John says, doesn't matter what opinion John says. I don't care if it's an agreed upon opinion. The only thing you have to do is say, "How's your wife, John?" Show the restraining order, and he automatically just gets felted and fucking memed on because no one cares. At the end of the day, that's where Elijah Schaffer's at. No one cares. No one fucking cares. It's amazing. Oh no. Oh poor she's trying to destroy my career. Elijah, you've done that yourself. You've already destroyed your career, Mr. Schaffer, because no one gives a fuck. You've already proven to be a cheating sack of drug-addicted shit. You were literally on video pointing at a fucking flooded floor, talking about conspiracies and nonsense. And your wife took the kids and left. And then a recording comes out from Milo fucking further felting your ass because you again are an idiot. So if I was Sydney, I'd say, go ahead and lie. See how many will actually believe you? Like 3? There'll be a few trolls left, but ain't no one believing this fucking moron no more. And the best part about it is, Sydney really just didn't have to do anything. These people destroy themselves. A drug-addicted moron like that, it's just a matter of time before they self-destruct. Look at Jeremy. Look at Mr. Hambly. He's destroying himself. I'm watching this dude implode in real time, and I've been waiting for it for 5 to 6 years, and it's fucking glorious. The porn thing is the coup de grace. Like, this shit's like a reward for me for waiting for so long to see him turn into another no bullshit. He's turning into no bullshit all over again. You guys remember that fucking more boring version of more boring version that looked like Jeremy Hambly, talked like Jeremy Hambly, was actually more boring. I could pull up some videos after this, and you guys can get a refresher on that boring fuck. But he basically went to the wayside, and he imploded on himself because no one wanted to listen to his bullshit no more. And that white nationalist crap just didn't really take well because everyone knew that no bullshit was just a failed YouTuber that tried 7 to 30,000 different avenues on YouTube that basically no one wanted to listen to. And it's the same fucking thing with the quartering. They're like the same person. It's just no bullshit too. And now you're seeing the real spiral. The dude it's amazing. And now Elijah Schaffer spiraling and going down the shithole. So go ahead and lie. Who's going to believe you? You cheat on your wife. So fuck you. You could literally show me evidence of you getting robbed in your house, Elijah, and I'm going to think it's AI before I actually believe you. That's what people are going to fucking do. They're like, this is AI. And I'm going to believe Elijah Schaffer. He's a scrub. You're a scrub, Elijah. And now you're going to hell for it. I hope you enjoy this. Enjoy this.
That he says about me now are still going to be untrue. And this type of behavior, just by the way, isn't exclusive to Elijah. This is definitely like a running theme with some online personalities and people in the industry and in the media space. When they don't have dirt on you, when they don't know anything about you, they just lie. They pull lies out of thin air, they make crap up, and they say it with such confidence that people are dumb enough to believe it. And I feel like this has been successfully demonstrated when you consider all the lies that Elijah has told about me so far to date. So I think the lying, the pathological lying, is a really, really big component to all of this that's definitely going to get missed in all of the drama and the crap that's going on online. And the reason that I want to bring it up is because I think it is how this person has successfully maneuvered so many people in the ways that he wants to, and how he has not only deceived them, but almost had them act based on his dishonesty. I would argue that most people, maybe not most, maybe just a lot of people who know things about Elijah are too fearful to come forward and say anything about him because they know that he's a loose cannon. But what I've realized over the years is that,
I mean, Milo didn't give a fuck. Milo nuked that motherfucker from orbit with just because he felt like it. So I don't know. I guess that's just pussy shit to me. because what's he gonna do? He's nothing at this point. So I don't know.
It doesn't really matter if you back him or not. He's going to lie about you anyway. He will threaten to sue you, as he's done on numerous occasions, to random people online. And I know he's done this to at least one of my remaining friends that I have in the media space who never even got close to talking about him. The best way that I can describe it is that Elijah neutralizes anybody who might blow the whistle on him by systematically lying about them to people around that person and him, and also telling lies about that person publicly to cover himself in the event that they might speak out. He obviously did this to me, but he also did this to other people that were in his life when I was friends with him. He would tell lies about these people and isolate them so that if they ever did say anything, no one would believe them. For example, when I found out that Elijah had cheated on his wife for presumably the first time, he took me out to get coffee with him, or coffee lunch, I suppose, and he proceeded to grill me to ascertain what I knew or didn't know at the time, and then borderline threatened me about not saying anything to anyone. And he does it in such a way that the threats are not super obvious, but the undercurrent is there. And obviously,
You gotta love undercurrents. You gotta love when they just like they don't threaten you, but you know, they give you a little hint and you're just like, oh, that's nice. Again, I just love that Milo shit on him so bad that he basically now he thinks he's in the Matrix, and it's just glorious. And look at the people that are defending him. When you have Myron Gaines defending you, it's over, dude. You might as well just pack it up, call it a day, it's done.
this did not exclusively just happen to me. This happened to other people in his life. I know that it did. And I think this is probably why he was able to, like I said, maneuver people so well and so easily, and probably why he's been able to keep people quiet for this long. Within the...
Which is insane because he's literally just a lolcow. I don't think, and I disagree with Sydney on that. I don't think that's why. I think it's because he's so irrelevant. No one cares to look into him. See, it has to be a giant scandal for us to give a shit. And even then, in the realm of like fucking scandals, this is still within the right-wing sphere, the inner right wing. No one actually outside of that gives a fuck. People care more about Amaru not saying anything about ICE before they care about about Elijah Schaffer cheating with Sarah Stock. None of us give a fuck, even though it's way more interesting of a story and proves a lifelong pattern of hypocrisy and drug addiction and just disgusting behavior by this disgusting maggot of a human being that is Elijah Schaffer. Reality, people care more about the Pogger community and the stupid ass fucking Hollywood Hills streamer bullshit, which again it is what it is. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I covered the Amaru situation, but to be honest, it was not nearly as fun as the Elijah Schaffer situation, and not nearly as fun as shitting on like that aspect. And I only focused on the Sarah Stock aspect because I hate that woman to a T. But if we're going to look who's the bigger problem here, of course it's Elijah Schaffer with his pattern of disgusting behavior. Sarah Stock's just a disgraced former Republican e-thought. Now we have someone that has a pattern of this behavior and people didn't do anything about. So now we're going to watch the downward spiral, watch him basically go further and further down the shithole that is his life. And well, the drugs and the alcohol will increase, and I have no doubt that he's going to do something to himself or to other people, and I hope that doesn't happen. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. He needs to be put somewhere away from society for a little bit, in my opinion.
Media space completely. And this is probably the same for Hollywood and for left-wing media and blah, blah, blah. There is an element here of mutually assured destruction. Yep. So everybody knows everything about each other. People love to gossip. And when you find things out about people that they've done that are horrendous, there's sort of this agreement that takes place that...
That is also something I completely agree with her on, because it's also another reason. It's because there are people that have things on him, but they have their own skeletons in the closet. I mean, look what he said in that message I read earlier. Mutually assured destruction. I just think that person gives a fuck, because it's like, whatever, dude. Whatever I did is pales in comparison to your shit, so I highly doubt it's going to affect me that much compared to you.
Say your horrendous thing if you don't say my horrendous thing. And so there exists this ecosystem of agreed upon not talking. That's not a very fancy way of putting it, but you get what I am saying. This has probably been a very long video as it is, and so this really just brings me to the last and short final point of what I want to say here. I am positive that there are some of you who are thinking, why now, Sid? Why is this the time that you are finally speaking out? NDA aside and, all the other crap aside. And the simple but probably not terribly satisfying answer is that there is now evidence that has come out that has not come from me. I think it is worth understanding.
Which is insane, because there already was evidence that this guy is a piece of shit. There always has been. There are people who have been calling this guy a piece of shit for years. And it wasn't just the left wing. But now you have that major scandal. Now's the time to say something. And I do agree with her. And now's the time that you can shit on him, because no one's going to believe him now. No one. He has lost all credibility if he had it left to begin with. And honestly, now people are just laughing at him. I mean, it's funny as fuck. Like, I was laughing my ass off at the prospect of the wife of him like trying to lie to everyone that my wife and kids would go out missing. No, she left your ass, you fucking moron, you stupid imbecile. She left your sorry ass because you're a piece of shit. And I really enjoy that for me because I find it entertaining as fuck. Good luck in the Matrix there, bud.
That I went through a discovery process as part of the suit that I was involved with, which means that the claims that I made, I could corroborate and I could always corroborate. But the truth of the matter is that this story always needed to be told independently of me in order for a large portion of people to find it credible and to also believe the information as it came out. As I mentioned, and as much as people don't like to hear this, the reality is that if I had been the one to say all of this, there was a very large possibility that I would not have been believed, as I wasn't to begin with, because of Me Too and Believe All Women and all these other movements. At the end of the day, none of us are perfect. And I'm not just saying that was like a throwaway thing. Like, it's true. None of us are perfect. We're all flawed. We've all made mistakes. We've all done and said crap that we wish we could take back, that we
Exactly.
regret doing or saying. We have probably wronged people that we wish that we could unwrong.
Is it wrong that I don't feel that way about a lot of people on here? You'd think I would, but I don't. Odd.
And for lack of a better way of describing it, we've just done things, you know, and I don't think that that's any revelation, but it's the truth. And so, you know, that applies to me. I have done things that I wish I could take back. I've said things I wish I could take back. I have acted in ways that are embarrassing to think about. And I don't like it. You know, there's people that I have definitely wronged over the years who I have tried to apologize to. And a lot of those people, probably all of them actually, have been gracious enough to accept those apologies. And we have stronger, better relationships for it, or we have a mutual understanding of fineness. But generally, making mistakes is not a problem if you are on a quest to be a better person and if you are continuing to grow and learn from your mistakes. Again, this all sounds like, you know, let's all hug and sing kumbaya, but it's the truth, you know, like, when you know that someone's messed up, but you know that they're trying to be better, you're like, yeah, like, go you. Like, you can advocate for people like that. But Elijah was this way when I knew him. And there were times over the years where I would get a snippet about what he was doing, and I think, oh, he's on the right path. Like, he's trying.
I'm sorry. It makes me laugh. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Elijah Schaefer on the right path. I bet she had that. I bet she had that inkling like 1,000 times, and he's like, why do I keep falling for this? He's just going to fucking be a retard in like the next 10 seconds. Why do I keep thinking he's on some path? Yeah, this guy's a generational fuck up.
But now I just see that I think he's just gotten worse, honestly. And because of that, he's gone on to not only victimize more people, but hurt the people dearest to him and create more and more problems, not only for himself, but the people in his orbit. It's why I'm so pressed by the recent news and all these allegations and whatnot, because, I mean, none of this is okay. None of this should have happened. And it's also why I feel now I would like to say something, because I do not think that this is a person who on his own is going to get help or get better or change.
Absolutely not. There's no way. There is no reason in his mind to get better. And now he's going to be on the I've already lost everything arc. I have nothing left to lose, even though it's like, no, you have plenty more to lose, buddy. Never think that you have nothing to lose. There's always more to lose. And even then, you have stuff to gain back, you think, as a man, but he doesn't care about his wife and kids. He's not a father or a husband. He's a coward and a disgusting degenerate.
And as long as that continues to be the case, he's going to keep victimizing people, and that's not acceptable. And to be clear, and it's probably obvious, while I have covered a bunch of things here, this is obviously not the full scope. So here at the end, let me say this to all of the online personalities and people in the industry who knew that all of this was going on, who decided to enable it or say nothing or just pretend that it wasn't happening. I think you are crappy people. And I think that you have contributed to not nice things going on, and you have to live with yourselves at the end of the day. But just know, I think you suck. While I am positive that this will not cause any of you to look in the mirror and reflect, you probably should. To all the lovely, wonderful people in my life who have been super supportive of me over the years, you guys are the real MVP, and I love you to the absolute moon and back. You are tremendous human beings, and you deserve all of the good things all of the time. Thank you so much for putting up with all of my doggy doo-doo over the years that I have, you know, all my whining, crying, complaining. Thank you. Truly, thank you. At the end of the day, for the sake of Elijah's wife and kids, if nothing else, I do hope that he gets help.
He won't. There's no, he won't get help. He's going to flame out, and I hope for the sake of his wife and kids, they stay the fuck away from him and that they can move on without him in life, because I don't think he's ever going to be a good influence on them in life. That's how I feel. He's a disgusting human being, and I have no fucking faith in that godless sack of goat shit. That is my direct, like, my genuine thought, my genuine feel, my genuine statement, that Elijah is a useless piece of shit human being with no redemptive qualities, and the world is better off without him.
And that he apologizes and makes things right with all the people that he's wronged.
He will not.
And I do hope that something in him compels him to choose a different path than the one that he is currently on. So with all of that being said, my little nuggets, I will see your cute little schmoodle faces in the next video, which I will post very soon after this one. Also, don't be surprised if I change the title of this video, if I put Elijah in the title, and if I change the thumbnail, if I put his face in the thumbnail. This is gonna sound really sad, but I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't like it. It gives me anxiety, and so I will remove it probably at some point after I leave this video.
Understand.
And then I will change the title, and then we'll pretend that this never happened to me, and we will all move on and get some closure. But on that note, I love all of you tremendously. You are very cool people. I hope you understand why I did this and what motivated me to do this. And I hope that this adds some clarity to what's been going on over the last number of years. And I will see your wonderful little noodle faces in the next video.
Okay, that is the Sydney Watson story and coverage. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Well, like I said, it's his spiral. I don't care. I don't care. I don't have the same humanity as the rest of you or the same hope. I don't care. Fuck you, man. You're gonna burn in hell. And personally, you're gonna spiral, and you're a piece of shit. You're a disgusting human being, and you're sad. You're pathetic. You're going to spiral more and more and more. And I hope it's a way that it doesn't hurt anybody else but yourself. Because I'd rather that you go down versus anyone else. And that's all I hope. Because I don't think there's any helping that useless piece of shit. That sounds cruel and fucked up, but this guy is a disgusting, low down, dirty piece of animal shit. And it's going to be that way for a while. But thank you guys for watching this stream. I'm going to come back later and we're going to talk about this. The Tubi savior of cartoons. Because holy shit, all my cartoons for real Tubi, free service, nigga, I'm in. You had me at Dexter's Laboratory. You had me at Ed, and Eddie. We're back. I just need Billy and Mandy on there, and it's like perfect. It's like cartoons paradise. But thank you guys for watching the stream. Thank you all. I hope you guys have a great day. And fuck Elijah Schaefer. Seriously, bro. Fuck that dude. All right. Bye-bye.
Quiet! This is the best part!
That's it. I'm out of here.
This video is the biggest load of hoo-ha I've ever seen.